nice user experience, actually.
It is.
So, hi, everyone.
Are we live?
I think we're live.
Hello, hello. Who's there? Let us know in the chat. We are having a new experience with this CrowdCat thing. So it's we're testing everything to see how it works. So if anyone is there, please say hello. And where are you signing in from? Okay, John, I know you're here. So actually, me and John are in the same room, but from a different perspective. So we are in Berlin right now. And Alex is also with us, our colleague, and he will interact with you a lot in the chat room to share links and all kinds of interesting information. Yeah, we're looking forward to see who's there. As we haven't done this in a while.
We're also early. We're early. There's still 1 minute until we start. The official start.
Yeah, we thought that, just to check that everything is working well. Except my mouse.
Ah, we have someone. Hi, PK. PK?
Hello, hello. Where are you joining us from? Do let us know in the chat. As I said, we're in Berlin. Looking forward to the winter vacation and freezing to death because it's very, very cold here.
So first we're going to do this webinar and talk about spring.
And then rest a little bit and stop working.
Finland.
Okay.
So I guess we shouldn't complain
I'm not complaining about the cold anymore. That's nice. Oh, yeah.
I think Estonia is not much further away. Yes. Pakistan, good.
Should be warmer there.
London.
Hello, hello.
I miss London. Hi from sunny Costa Rica, Brian. Of course, there's Brian from Costa Rica.
Oh, that's nice. We have such a nice weather.
Portugal. Oh, that's not bad either.
I think that the cold is not so bad for me as it is the darkness, like that. Something. 4 p.m. it's already dark, and I feel like, okay, my day is over, stop working. So.
Good. Do we start?
Yeah, let's start. And
I'm from Mumbai, India. Okay.
If I remember how to do this.
So we're testing a new platform for this webinar. We used to do Zoom, but now we're doing the Crowdcast, it's called. Much better experience, but let us know how your experience is with this one.
Yeah, and hopefully it works until the end. Start good, but I wonder, is my, yeah, all good?
Okay. Good, so ready to start?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. First of all, thank you everyone, and welcome to the last webinar of this year, I think. We have scheduled one for next year, but we're going to talk about it really soon. But until then, today we're going to do a short introduction about design sprints, and we're going to look at different ways and moments in time and in context to use design sprints in your organization. And then at the end, we're going to open up for questions. So if you have some things in mind, do feel free to write in the chat. There's also like a Q&A section. You can also write it there, and we'll try to answer as many questions as we can by the end of the workshop. Alex will be sharing with you some links, and depending on what we're saying and different topics, he's going to share with you in the chat. And other than that, I think that was their housekeeping stuff. So for those of you who don't know us, my name is Dana, this is John. We are the founders of Design Sprint Academy, and we've been running design sprints for quite a while, even before we co-founded Design Sprint Academy in Berlin. we had a different company where we got to experience this process from a different perspective. And once we understood how it works and we saw its value, we started to spread it around the world and basically facilitate and train others on this method. And we got to work with really, really amazing teams from big companies and small companies. And we help them to validate new business ideas, and other companies we help adopt new ways of working. And it was a pleasure for us to actually even end up at Google in San Francisco and train their Sprint Academy on a new method or problem framing method. But in the end, it was like a very, very nice ride and experience we had with it. And we're still doing that, still riding the wave. And basically what we do, well, we do a lot of trainings, a lot of them, a lot of courses in person, online, in corporate environment, all kind of situations. But we basically do design sprint training, problem framing training, and advanced facilitation, also focused on the design sprint method. And we do have a lot of fun with it. And we also certify, so people who join our boot camps get a chance to take an exam at the end and verify their knowledge and to see, okay, how good they understood the method and how well are they practicing it right now. We also travel a lot and we work with many, many companies to basically facilitate this type of workshop with their teams and move from an idea to data in very, very fast moments. And lately we started to do these company-wide innovation plans where we get more teams and we create this momentum around innovation and around getting quick validation of different ideas, while also building an internal team of facilitators so they can keep this knowledge and move forward and continue to do design sprints inside their companies with the use, of course, of our tools and all the courses and the learnings that they got from us. We do all those things by basing our work on two core methods, the problem framing and the design sprints. But today, we're just going to focus on the design sprints. Problem framing is going to be a different topic. Maybe you can join us in January where we plan a new webinar, and it's going to be something new that we just launched, but I'm going to keep the suspense until the end. So design sprint, that's why you're all here, to get introduced to the design sprints. Now, the name of the framework might sound weird to some and might not reflect exactly what it is, because you hear design and you're thinking, okay, what's design? It could be something beautiful, something pretty, something that looks amazing, but it's not. We're not talking about that. Or you might be thinking of art, but art is something that it should inspire you and it should make you wonder and ask questions, while design in this context is something that answers questions. It's something that tells you how it should work. And I think this quote from Steve Jobs makes it justice. Now, going back to the second word, the sprint. Sprint, it's about speed. It's not about the agile sprint. So it's just about getting very, very fast from point A to point B together with the team, moving from an idea to learning and to data. And I think those of you who know us know this example that I'm going to share with you next. But for those of you who are new, we like to make this comparison to the movie Speed, if you know the movie with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock, a very old movie. So, but not for the, we are old, so I guess that's why we know it. So basically an action movie where you have a terrorist that places a bomb in a bus, and then you have the hero Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock trying to solve the problem and save all the passengers in the bus. And basically, if you were to break the action in this movie apart, you could almost map it to the design sprint process because it follows the same phases. First, you would have a challenge. The design sprint also starts with a challenge. In this case, it's a bomb in the bus. Again, in design sprint, you need to first understand what is it that you need to solve, what is the problem, and really get to the root cause of it so that it will inspire better and better solutions. So you have this first understand phase where you realize what's going on. Then you have the define phase, which is about understanding where are you getting, what's the final goal, what are you trying to achieve. In the movie, the goal is to get people safely off the bus without it exploding, especially because if you stop the bus or the bus goes under a specific speed limit, it will just blow up. So the bus cannot stop. In a design sprint, the same thing. A team needs to be very clear what are they trying to achieve and make sure they keep that focus and they do not waste their time and energy in different areas or on dead ends. That being said, now that you understand the problem, know where you want to go, it's time to come up with different solutions. In the movie, the LAPD teams come up with different ideas and plans, and everyone puts something different on the table, and then they discuss it and they review it. The same thing happens in a design sprint where you take the power of the individual and you ask everyone to come up with their own unique solution to the problem. And then, just like in the movie, you pick the best one or you pick the best ones. In a design sprint, you would decide, okay, which of those solutions or piece or parts of the solutions would make possible to achieve the goal and see if the team can solve the problem at the end. In the movie, the officers will make a decision and pick the best option. And in their case, there was this, they decided on this flatbed trailer to move it close to the bus and try to get people out of the bus this way. So that was their first prototype, their first attempt to solve the problem. The same thing you would do in a design sprint, you would build a facade, you would build something that you think has the best chances to work. And what you would do with it, you test it, you would put it in front of customers or target audience and see what's their reaction. How do they feel about it? What do they think about it? What works? What doesn't? Same thing happened in the movie. They prioritized in the sense of they try to save not everyone from the bus at the same time, but only the target audience. Some people that were more injured, and they try to get them out first and see if it works. Well, you're not always going to get a perfect result. It happens in the movies, but it happens in real life, and that's a good thing because it's also an opportunity for everyone to learn, to see if it works, and if it doesn't, especially that's what matters, and to see why it works and why it doesn't. So that next time you do it better and you would learn. In the movie, they end up swapping the flatbed trailer for another bus, and of course, this was a better solution and it worked better. Same thing will happen in a design sprint where the teams will learn from this experiment and will embed their learnings into a new prototyping or into a new solution. But they will get to do this super, super fast, as in a matter of days. In the end, this is what a design sprint is a way for a diverse and cross-functional team to move from idea to data by building a realistic prototype and testing it with the right audience in less than a week. So that being said, that was the theory part. And now I'm going to pass the ball to John so he can tell you more about our experience with design sprints and how we are doing this in practice. Oh, I managed to stop the sharing. Interesting.
Yes.
Let's see if you can.
Good. So I would like to show you how the design sprint works by presenting a case study, a very simple case study. I hope everyone can relate to. So I need to share my screen now. Okay, good. Let me just one moment of patience, please. I think I got it. Just let me know when
it works.
It works. Okay, good. So design sprint in practice, I'm going to show you how design sprints work, presenting you with an easy to follow case study. In order to make design sprints work, of course, it's important to know the process and how it works, but you need to have the ingredient right. And there are three ingredients to run a design sprint, which are very important. First, you need to have a clear focus on a problem, on a business challenge that's worth solving. So you really need to have clarity on that. You can't tackle in a design sprint too many problems at once. That's a no-go. So you need to be quite clear on what's the problem you're trying to solve. Then you also need to focus on a very specific target audience, because at the end of a design sprint, you test a prototype and you need to test consistently with the same type of user, so you get feedback that matters. That's why, especially if you're serving multiple audiences, multiple types of users, before going into a design sprint, you need to decide who this customer is. So have clarity on that. Also, knowing who the customer is will help you bring insights from your previous research or data that you might have into the design sprint to help the teams ideate. So know who your customer is. And then finally, because this is a problem, you need a team of experts to solve it. The main criteria here is expertise. Everyone in the team should be able to contribute to solving the problem. Also, it's very good that the team should be cross-functional, meaning you don't want to have just designers or just engineers or just salespeople or marketers, because then you don't have diversity in opinions and solutions. So to sum up, three ingredients: you need to be clear on the problem you're solving, you need to focus on a specific customer, and you need to have a cross-functional team of experts. All of these things, you need to have them before starting the design sprint. If you're missing one of these elements, and if you're running a high-stakes design sprint, so not for learning purposes, my advice is just don't do it until you have all of these ingredients in place. Good. Now, so let's go through the case study now. Let's start with the business challenge. We're going to have a very simple one. Let's assume that we have this online retailer, an online gift shop that's called Get Personal, selling personalized gifts for everyone that you love. I think it's very fitting with the holiday season upon us. But unfortunately, this online retailer has a big problem. They're losing customers. They're not doing great. Sales drop, there's no revenue, so they have this challenge: how could we regain customers, increase user engagement, and ultimately revenues? Of course, this can be better defined, but for this case study is good enough. So that's the big business challenge that we're trying to solve in this design sprint. Of course, being an online retailer, we sell to many different types of people and customers, but in a design sprint, we really need to focus on one. So we could choose moms, we could choose I don't know, families, but we decided to focus on digital natives, busy professionals who lack time, who are striving to find best ideas on short notice. They're always last minute. So this is our target audience for this sprint. It doesn't mean the rest are not important, but this is what we want to focus for this design sprint. Good. So we have the challenge, we have our customer. Now we need a team. This should be a team of experts, a cross-functional team from across the business. So we're going to have the founder of Get Personal. We have someone from packaging. We have customer support because they have a lot of insights about the customers. We have marketing. We have social media. So as you can see, a very cross-functional team, all diverse perspectives, but all being able to contribute to solving this problem. So that means right now we're sprint ready because we have our business challenge. We're focused on one customer. We've assembled this team of experts ready to kick off. And this is how it looks. When we do design sprints, we do it over 4 days. You can do it over 5 days, 3 days, but we perfected this 4-day recipe when we do it in person. We go through these 6 phases: understand, define, ideate, decide, prototype, and test. And I'm going to tell you what happens at every single stage and what exercises, activities happen as we go through them. So this is pretty much the process overview, high level. But with design sprints, it's very important to know that design sprints are an emotional roller coaster for your teams, because teams will start the first day of the design sprint being very curious, excited to work on the challenge. But then the first part of the design sprint is very difficult because everyone shares information. There's a lot they need to go through understanding the problem. So people will get confused at one point. They'll feel overwhelmed. Also feeling like they're not making progress since they're not moving into solutions. And as time goes by, they're going to be quite tired. Um, but then they get a little bit more focused as they set up a goal, as Dana said. And then moving into the second day of the sprint, when they start ideating, people get excited because finally they get to do what we're good at as people, which is coming up with solutions. However, also by the end of the day, the energy and the mood will dip again because we need to select the best ideas. And then people will feel vulnerable that they're going to fight for their ideas as well. So this is a tricky part of the process that the facilitators need to be quite good to manage. But then once we're past that, there's going to be the pressure because the team needs to deliver the prototype in just one day. However, at the end of it, they're going to feel very proud that they came up with a realistic facade of their product or service. And every single design sprint that we've run for the past 6 years happened, finished on the last day with aha moments and with an inspired teams because they learned what worked and what didn't work, and they had a lot of clarity on how to move forward, and all in just the space of 4 days. So that's very important to take into consideration. I think we have the emotional roller coaster as a tool on our website, so you can download for free and use it in your workshops as well. Good. Now, let's go to the sprint. We need to cover the sprint. Before the sprint, as you prepare, you need to put together a sprint brief, and that's something that gets shared with the team before the sprint. Some of the team will read it, some will not, so it's really good to start with introducing the sprint brief, the topic of the sprint, the challenge, desired outcomes, so on and so forth. But then the next exercise is lightning talks. We're in the phase where we're trying to understand the problem. So the understand phase of the design sprint. So in the lightning talks, everyone in the team is going to share their own opinion on the challenge. So marketing is going to probably talk about their campaigns. I don't know, sales about how many sales they've made and revenues. Customer support, we're going to talk about customer complaints or requests. So everyone will talk about what they know related to the challenge. By the end of this exercise, what's going to happen, the team will be aligned around like what the problem is. They're going to share the same understanding, and why not deeply empathy toward each other. Oh my God, I didn't know you in sales are facing these issues, or I didn't know we have problems over there. So that's what we, at the end of the lightning talks, the team will have understood the problem from the business perspective. And then once that's done, we're going to still continue understanding the problem, but changing sides from the customer perspective. And in order to do that, we're going to do a series of activities, of mapping activities, empathy mapping, customer journey mapping, map to map, and I'm going to show them how they look. Just really quick examples. The first one is empathy map that's going to help us better understand the customer. And this is what an empathy map looks like. It's based on research. So empathy maps are a good way to connect sprint activities to previous research that you may have done. And basically, it will help the team get the same understanding of what the customer is going through. So as you can see this customer, Leon, let's call him Leon, might say that shopping is stressful. And what does he do? Well, he's building a scrapbook by himself for his girlfriend for her birthday with pictures from past activities, whatever. Why is he doing this? Like, what does he think as he's going through all of this? Will my girlfriend love me more? Right? That's what it goes through his head. And then he's feeling a little bit insecure. That's why he's going through all of this effort. What are some pain points our customer faces? Well, there's no quick fix to a good, great gift idea. But then if we come up with a solution as Get Personal, how are we going to create value for Leon? Well, we're going to boost his self-esteem. We're going to make him feel good and look cool in front of his girlfriend. So that's kind of like painting a picture of the customer. And then also we need to understand what is the customer journey, like what are they going through. And here is Leon's journey. It's a buying journey. I think everyone who's ever bought a gift went through the same process. There's an event or occasion that comes up. Then, hey, there's a birthday in 2 days. And then you're starting looking for inspiration, whether going in a shopping mall or browsing the internet or the Instagram. And then you're considering the different options until you decide on one, which you buy or do it yourself, just like Leon did. And then you're offering the gift or shipping the gift, and you'll get feedback from the recipient. But your ultimate goal is to have happy friends and have a sense of pride and look cool because you managed to give a great gift. So that's the customer journey. And design sprint, what we need to do, we need to focus on what's the most critical part of this journey, so we can create solutions to alleviate some pain. But like, where should we focus? And this is where the map-to-map exercise will start helping us, because we're going to take the output from the empty mapping from our customer research and map it on this customer journey map. And all of a sudden, we can see at which points of their journey our customers are experiencing pain points or challenges where their experience is not ideal. That's going to give us a good indication of where we might want to focus with our solution when it's time for ideation. So as we go through these exercises, we finished all of the understand phase. The team had understood the problem from their perspective as a business, as a team, but also they're very clear on what's the customer journey and where the customer struggles and what they're trying to achieve. Once this is done, and that's the frustrating part, we're not moving right into solutions. But rather, from here, the team needs to define a direction, right? Like, we know the context, we understand the problem, what it is that we're trying to achieve with our project. And that's why we need to set up a long-term goal and our sprint questions. For Get Personal, the long-term goal would be something like this: provide the best personal gift recommendation source to make both buyer and recipient happy. Think of this long-term goal as the North Star of your project, but going beyond the design sprint, so it's that happy place where you want to get if you come up with solutions that work. So you're being super optimistic, you're projecting yourself in the future, the problem is solved, your solutions are working, this is where you want to get. It's good to have a timeline to this. This one doesn't have, it can be implicit, but we can say in 1 year, in 2 years, in 3 years, whatever that might be, in 3 months. Sometimes could be 1 week if you say really quick. So
it's not a long-term goal anymore.
But it's giving you a direction. So once you have the long-term goal, then you need to set your sprint success metrics. So think about sprint questions more like, what are the biggest risks you're going to face in reaching your long-term goals? So what are the biggest blockers, risks around your project? Or what are your must-have success factors? So it could be either or. Of course, people tend to look at risks more. It's only natural, but like, that's how you come up with this, identifying your biggest blockers and your success factors, and then you turn them into yes and no questions. And here are a few of the sprint questions we want to answer with this sprint. Will we be able to collect honest feedback from our customers? Will they trust our expertise? Will we be able to suggest the right gifts? Will we be able to deliver our gifts on time? So these are all related to our future solutions, and the way we're going to answer these questions is by coming up with a solution in a sprint, prototyping it, and then testing it with our customers. So, and judging by the reactions to our solutions, then we'll know whether we answer the questions or not, with a yes or a no. like basically what needs to happen is you would need to bake in these questions into your prototype. So whatever we come up with, we're going to need something to show how we collect feedback, and then based on the reaction, we can see whether our customers like our feedback collection or not. Anyway, so these are the sprint questions. It's our success metrics, and once we have them, we move forward. And we go through an exercise that's called Ask the Experts. It may happen that not everyone will make the design sprint team, or you may need some very specific expertise on certain topics, but you don't need those people for the entire duration. So for example, if in our design sprint we have the people on the left, co-founders, packaging operators, marketing, social media, they need some more information. We might bring in someone to talk about consumer behaviors, or someone to talk about online engagement, or a professional gift shopper who can talk about how people buy gifts, or someone who's working in retail. And all of these people could provide really good insights that might help the team when come up with solutions. Once this is done, we're slowly moving into we need to get that focus. I mentioned that we need to pick that area in the customer journey where we should come up with solutions. In order to do that, there are a couple of exercises to do. One is called How Might We, the other one is Picking a Target. With How Might We, we're looking at the map, just like that we created, and all of the insights, just like you see in this image. And what we're doing, we're looking at the pain points, we're looking at all of the barriers, the blockers that the customers have. Those are like the pinky post-its that you see on the board, and we're turning them into opportunities. So it's all about looking at the insights, identifying the blockers, turn them into opportunities. And then we're also going to plot these opportunities on the customer journey so we can see where we might focus. Some of the opportunities we have here is like, how might we make a friend feel like a king? Obviously, if that's one of our opportunities, that's going to help us think in a different way of a solution. What sort of a solution should you come up with so someone feels like a royalty? How might we make it finding possible in only 5 seconds? Of course, that's not realistic, but this is all about speed. So it's an opportunity like, can we help someone find something really fast? So we're coming with these opportunities. They're all based on the insights we collected during our team conversation, during our mapping exercises. So everything is connected to each other. Then once we've plotted all of these opportunities across our customer journey map, the next activity is to pick a target, and that's like one part in the customer journey map where we want to focus with solutions. In this picture here, you can see we chose feedback that's circled on the edge, and what it means is that from this moment on, the team will only focus on that part of the customer journey. So they're going to come up with solutions, ideas on how to improve this part. So they're not going to focus on finding inspiration or buying or any other parts of the customer journey. Very focused, laser focused on getting feedback. Good. Now we have our focus. It's time to come up with solutions, and that's how the second day of the design sprint kicks off. But we're not going to ask the team to come up with solutions looking at a blank sheet of paper. Before the solutions, the team can look for some outside inspiration. That's what they do with the lightning demos exercise. So basically, everyone in the team will go outside of their business, of their industry, and they're going to research good ideas that they might use in their own solutions. We do this because innovation does not happen in a vacuum. And of course, and maybe we don't want to reinvent the wheel. Like if there are already good solutions out there that we can leverage, then why not? So everyone goes research on their own, and then everyone comes back, shares with the rest of the team, and by the end of this exercise, as you can see here on the screen, you end up with an inspiration wall full of ideas that the team may or may not use during their own ideation process. Now that we have an inspired team and it's still morning, everyone is still fresh, we go through each member of the team, start to ideate and come up with their own solutions to the problem. We do a couple of exercises here. One of them is Crazy 8. The other one is a solution sketch. With Crazy 8, this is a fast brainstorming exercise where you can explore ideas and alternative to your ideas in just 8 minutes. And then in the next activity, solution sketch, you take the strongest idea from your Crazy 8 and you turn it into a full concept, a full solution for your customer problem. As you can see here, it should have at least 3 steps: beginning, middle part, and an end. It's an end-to-end solution on how you solve the customer problem. So by the end of this stage, if we have 7 people in a sprint team, by the way, in a sprint team, you should have 7 to 10 people. So let's say if we have 7 people in our sprint team, we would end up with 7 competing solutions for the same problem. Next day, we start by deciding on what are the best solutions. So we need to pick something. You can't prototype everything. And we go through a few exercises here as well. Heat map is an exercise where everyone reviews everyone's work in silence, dotting the things that they like. So as you can see, like this is a small red dot. And in the next phase, there's an activity called speed critique, where the team actually discusses each solution one by one, exposing their features, and then we end up with voting for the solutions. There's the team voting, and then usually in a sprint you have someone that's called the decider. The main stakeholders, they're going to make the final decision. So we end up this phase with probably one strong concept that was voted and improved with ideas from others. Once we've done this, we need to take these ideas that we voted and turn them into a master concept. This is called the storyboard. This is the activity that I mentioned. It's quite tricky because everyone fights for their ideas a little bit here, and they tend to forget what they voted. But at the end of this exercise, you take all the ideas you voted and string them into a cohesive story that might look like something like this. This would be the storyboard or the prototype, which is the foundation of the prototype for this sprint. Should I go through it really quickly?
Yeah, very quickly.
So you get an email from Get Personal. I know it says Amazon there, but it's Get Personal. There is a book. You ask the gift recipient, how do you rate it? If it's a 5-star rating, we go into a thank you page. And that's the end of the flow, because the goal was met. We made the right recommendation. That's why I got 5 stars. Everyone's happy. End of story. But then if you have 3 stars, let's say you go on our website and then you're being asked, okay, what is the problem? You have different options, but because we want to collect honest feedback, we think that we might not cover all of the options. So that's why there is another trade feature on our page, which takes us to a trade page where you have a Tinder-like functionality to go through gift, choosing the one you want to pick. So imagine yourself that you get a gift that you don't like, and then have the option to replace it with something else. What would you choose? Our assumption is that people will choose the gift that they like, which means that we're going to learn their preferences, which means we're going to be able to collect honest feedback, which was our sprint question. And then under shopping cart, as you can see, we have a big X. We're not trying to learn anything there in that page of our prototype, but like we need a nice ending to the experience. So with this storyboard, which you're going to prototype in the next day, it's very important. They're very intentional with every screen, every frame, and like write up what you're trying to learn in testing. When people rate this, people give honest feedback, would they trade, would they like our new recommendations? So it's very important to be intentional with with what you're trying to learn. So we're here. As I said, this is one of the most difficult exercises. But once you're done with this, you need to plan your prototyping. And it's not just one person building it. That's the builder. So very important role. The builder is someone who's using a tool to build a prototype. Think of them as a designer. More people can take these roles. But then you have someone that could be an asset collector. This person will gather content, images, video, audio, data. This needs to be to look like a realistic product. So that's why you need to have real content going into it. That's why also the next roles, the ones of the word needs is critical. Like this is the person who ensures that wording makes sense, is consistent across all of the different screens. It sounds nice. So this is the copywriter of your prototype. The teacher brings everything together. I like to refer to the teacher as the project manager of your prototype, overseeing everybody else's work. And then finally, you have the interviewer, and the person is not actively participating in building the prototype with the rest of the team, but rather they're going to write an interview script that they're going to use the following day to test the prototype with five customers, 5 Leons. Now, what we do in design sprints, we do this sort of planning on a board like these ones with task assignment. And it's you only have 1 day, so we're aiming to finish by the end of the day, so we can do a trial run, and then the next day we test. Good. So third day is completed. Third day, everyone, builds the prototype, build the interview script. The team has regular check-ins every 90 minutes or so, and then by the end of the day, you have a trial run. And this is how the prototype could look like. This is actually a prototype that's built based on the storyboard that I showed previously. Just now, it doesn't look like a black and white wireframe. It looks more like a realistic product. It's just enough for us to test it with our customers. For this, we're using a great tool that's called Wizard. So feel free to check that out as well. Good. And now, finally, we're on the last day of our design sprint. We test this prototype with five customers following a very specific script, which is called the 5-act interview. How it works, the testing is one-to-one, meaning you have the interviewer and the interviewee talking alone in a room if it's in person, and everyone else is watching this conversation over the live stream, so the team does not interfere with the testing process. If you're online, everyone is on the call, but only those 2 people have the cameras and sounds off. Everyone else is just observing. The team observes the interview, and then they're taking notes. We like to color code them using green for positive reactions to the prototype, red for negative reactions, and then blue for questions or concerns that customers might have. And then after each interview, the team will basically debrief, discuss, and organize the feedback that they got. And basically, by the end of our testing sessions, as you can see, we have a very clear picture of the feedback we got from all of the users. For all of the different features or areas of our prototype. And by color coding, it helps us like really seeing the patterns and drawing our conclusions. And we know how to move forward. Good. So I think that's the sprint. I only have one more thing to share with you. When should you run design sprints? And
I don't think you have enough time, but we can try.
It's 6:40. Why not?
Okay.
Really quickly, when should you run design sprints? 3. I'll be quick with these ones. We have 3 main use cases for product development as part of an innovation funnel, and when you're trying to come up with a new venture, a new business, or a new business model, or new partnership. Product development, I think most of you are familiar with this one. This is your agile product development cycle in which you have an idea and then you build it in an agile way, delivering every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever your sprint is. However, if you don't have a good idea, then the product is not good. Design sprints can help by validating those ideas before you start executing them. So obviously, if you don't validate your solution, or if you find out that your solution is not good, you would save a lot of time and resources. But anyway, with design sprints, you get the confidence that you're building the right thing if you're moving into execution. Problem framing also is going to help you make sure that you focus your solutions on the right problem. Because design sprint is still only about solutions. So you want to make sure that you're working on a problem that's worth solving, something that is bringing a lot of value for your business, but also solving a customer problem. That's something that we're doing with the problem framing process, which we're going to talk about in our next webinar in January. So that's a much more effective way of building products, because you get to focus on problems, validate solutions, and only at the end start building. Another use case is problem framing and design sprints can help you build innovation funnel, early stage innovation. Like when you create one of these funnels, you tend to have a lot of ideas, whether from your staff or your business generates idea, or customer sends you idea, whatever. You have a lot of ideas for innovation, but like, can you follow all of that? Probably not. So that's when problem framing can help you evaluate those ideas and only keep those ones that are aligned with your strategic goals or with your business objectives and strategy. And then with design sprints, you can quickly run experiments and validate concepts to those ideas. And then finally, we have the last case study when you're trying to come up with a new venture, whether as a startup or you're a huge organization building a partnership with another entity. With a startup in early stage, use problem framing to validate your core value proposition, and then with design sprints, validate solutions to that. And as a larger organization, use problem framing to identify your opportunities and align stakeholders around the business problem. And then with design sprints, you get to your product market fit. And I think I was very quick with this.
You were very
quick. But yeah, I think we can do some Q&A. Do we have questions?
Because you can also stop the share.
I'm going to stop the sharing. How do I do that?
Stop sharing.
Stop sharing. Okay. All right.
I saw this functionality. Let's see if it works. It says that I can read the question, and then if I click start answering, can you see it on the screen?
Can I use design sprint to come up with a business idea or a startup?
To come up, I would say.
No, I think design sprints are best suited when you already have that idea and you're trying to quickly find out if it works. So that's when design sprints work best. In order to come up with the business ideas or opportunities, we use problem framing for that, because that allows us to look at the context by taking a wider lens, actually looking at it through multiple frames to identify not only one opportunity, but maybe more related opportunities, which we can then validate by using design sprints. So design sprints is really good to have a clear focus if you want to get the most out of them.
How big should the challenge be in practice? Using it in practice.
The challenge.
Not too big, not too small.
Yeah, that's tricky. That's why, again, I don't want to be a broken record, but that's why we're trying to do problem framing beforehand to shape our challenge and make sure we don't how to say, we don't shoot much. How do you say, like? So that's why, like, yeah, that's what we're doing, problem framing. That's why we're trying to make the challenge a little bit more specific. We have a very clear format in which we're writing the design sprint challenge, which allows us to see is this too big or too small. That would be another topic, I would say.
For sure, and world hunger is too big.
Yes.
And how do we make this page look prettier, or we change the colors on some section is too narrow. So it's somewhere in between. And the thing is that you shouldn't have an answer to your question, to your solution. Right. Nobody would have fixed it yet. So that's your main criteria. Nobody got a solution. Nobody has solved it. And the only way for you to find out the answer is by running an experiment, because that's what a design sprint is. It's an experiment where you test for reactions and you test to see if the solution is desirable on the market. I hope we answered this question. Okay, now another question about the structure. I think it's related to the way we structured, the way we do the first day of the design sprint.
Yeah, why are the sprint questions generated in the first part of the sprint with a business goal? So I know in the book, for those of you who read the sprint book, the goal and the sprint questions are the first exercises that happen in the sprint. But like after running many sprints, we realized that it works much better to do them after the team has had the chance to align with each other and get more familiar with the context. They're in a better state of mind to come up with those questions, just because they know a lot more. Otherwise, we were in the situations where we started sprint first thing in the morning. The team is barely awake, and it's like, what's the long-term goal? And they haven't even listened to what?
They have no context.
They have no context.
No common ground.
So we're still doing it in the first day of the design sprint, but at the end, once the team has had all of these conversations, they looked at the customer context, the business context. Now they know, okay, where are our biggest risks? Like, what do we need to answer? Where should we focus? It just works much better.
Right. And I think another thing about this one, when do you start recruiting customers? I think it's related with the problem framing and the work we do beforehand.
It's one of the, I mentioned those 3 ingredients you need to have beforehand. One of them is the customer. We recruit them before the sprint, because if you only decide in a design sprint who the customer is, it might be too late. Imagine you're doing a design sprint with users in B2B space that might be harder to access, or professions like doctors. We did once design sprint with neurosurgeons. It took us 6 weeks to schedule them for interviews. So obviously we're doing this 1-2 weeks before the design sprints in most cases. So we have them lined up. How much work, this question here, how much work would you typically do before the sprint to help frame the problem? We do that, we started work by filling in the design sprint brief. In many cases, just by going to the design sprint brief, which is part of our sprint toolkits, the team gets clarity on what the problem is. So it happens in the space of generally like in 1 week. But then also during this period, you might realize, filling in the design sprint brief, that you don't have clarity on the problem. In that case, we do some extra work. Maybe we're looking at more research, doing more interviews. But generally, I would say in the most challenging cases, we'll do 2-3 weeks of work before a design sprint to get clarity on the problem. We tend to work on high stakes design sprints, so it's very important to have this problem very clear.
And we just launched a new tool. It's called the Problem Framing Canvas, and I hope Alex can share with you the link. It will basically help you get started, because you will start from something, an idea, a solution, a problem, something that you know that is important to be solved. And with this canvas, you'll be able to write down what you know, what you have, what data is there. And you will have to bind together 2 perspectives, the business perspective and the customer perspective. So you end up with a clear problem statement. And you might discover that, well, there are some things missing and you need to do more research, or you might discover that you have the data, but you didn't know it exists. It will just help you know what type of research you need to do, what's missing and what's available, and see if you end up with a problem statement that makes sense. You might find out that what the business wants is not related to any customer need, and then you might have a big aha moment and maybe pivot. I hope we answered this question. I think we have 2 big questions here.
There's one on remote design sprints.
So
First question, you mentioned that design sprint is 4 days long. However, in practice, it's not easy. It's not easy to be time boxed, mostly when the company is new to the practice. How can we
overcome this challenge?
I think, how do I answer this this question? In order to run this sprint, the company needs to be bought in. So that's the first problem that you need to solve. Again, that's something we solve with problem framing in a way. Like I know I say that a lot, but once the business realizes that the design sprint is going to help them solve a problem that's close to them, that's important to them, and we get that buy-in for those 4 days. I don't think we've ever had a case where we didn't get the 4 days or the 5 days in some cases. But another way to address it is if you're looking for 4 days, only during the first 2 days you need your entire team. For the workshops all the way until you come up with your concept, and then in the last 2 days you can work with a much more reduced team, prototyping and testing. So if that's really a problem, then you say like, give me the core team of experts for just today. You're still going to make a lot of progress. So it's an easier sell. And that's how do you sell the idea to your customer to assign 7 people to spend 3 full days on a sprint, showing them the types of outcomes they get in those 3 days. We've recently done a design sprint. The customer told me that the work we've done in the week with them saved them 9 months of work, just because it involves people working in 3 different countries, across different time zones. It would have taken them 9 months to do the same work we did in 1 week. So it was a no-brainer.
All right. Let's see about the remote design sprint.
For the remote design sprints, I think
the question is, how do I encourage clients to do the lighting demos?
So 2 things about remote design sprints. We do have another webinar on design sprints that show the structure. So you can find it on our YouTube channel under remote design sprints. And then how do I encourage clients to do lighting demos? You give them a focus. That's why lighting demos should start from one of your how might quiz, from one of the opportunities. And you say, okay, this is the opportunity you voted for as a team. Now go outside and find solutions to this or answers to this question. Also, in a remote design sprints, people have a lot of time to do this work offline. They have about a couple of hours, so they can do this undisturbed, uninterrupted. But like to encourage them, show them examples, show them what they need to, and we have some inspiring examples. We show them to get inspiration, and then give them a focus. Like look for lighting demos for these specific opportunities, right? So it's not random ideas that they should come up with.
And when you think of examples, you need to think of what's an example that, because it was set as an inspiration, produced great results. Because you need to show them the power of getting inspired versus just looking at the blank canvas. So try to find out those elements that change the world, a moment in time, or products that change the world just because they were there as an inspiration point.
Okay, and Alex posted the link to the remote sprint webinar. There's like a lot about how to run remote sprints in there. Do we have anything else?
Maybe one practical. How does the super vote work exactly? Super vote.
How does the super vote work?
That's at the end of the speak critique.
Yeah, after the team has evaluated and discussed all of the solutions, there's the voting process. The way it works: first, you get every member of the team, except for your decider, to vote for their favorite solution. So each member of the team only gets 1 vote, and they get to choose a solution or a part of solution, whatever they feel answers their sprint questions best. After everyone on the team votes, everyone will take them 30 seconds to 1 minute trying to pitch their decision to the decider, trying to influence the decider, if you will. That's when the team has the chance to speak up and really influence decisions. And then after the decider had listened to everyone in the team, they're going to get 3 votes, and then they're going to pick the ideas that they like as well. Very important while speaking out loud, justifying their decision in front of the team. That's kind of how it works.
And there is a Speed 2 movie, Jesus, I didn't know. I missed that one.
Who said that? Maybe we're going to use that.
I have to check it out.
Yeah.
I missed it.
All right. Thank you so much for this insight.
So I hope you enjoyed our webinar today and we managed to answer your questions. If not, feel free to write us an email or get in touch with us on LinkedIn. And that being said, thank you again for joining us, and we wish you all
happy holidays.
And a nice break. Like our mind is already there, so I don't know whether we're going to work the next week or so, but we'll see. And hopefully we're going to see you soon to our next webinar in January, where we're going to talk about problem framing and how to use the problem framing canvas that just released on the market.
Thank you so much, and Happy New Year, everyone.
Bye.